Hello, my name is Amanda, and welcome to Back to the Heart, a podcast for self-discovery, healing, and embracing true freedom. And I invite you to join me as we embark on a transformative journey back to your heart, where we get to choose love over fear. Sometimes the challenges we think will break us are actually guiding us back to freedom and love. In this week's episode, I'm joined by my beautiful friend Cherry, the co-host of the Going Goddess podcast, and we'll explore her healing journey that led to sobriety, plant medicine, and soul partnerships. This episode is especially for anyone who feels stuck in old patterns, questioning their relationship with substances, or craving deeper connection with themselves and others.
I have a podcast with Silver Luna called Going Goddess, and we have Miss Amanda on. Are you episode 3 or 4?
No, it was close to the beginning. It was a great episode too.
I love going back and listening to the clips that we are putting out. We need to have you back on. It's all about divine femininity, women's empowerment, goddess in progress journey. We are all at different places in our journey of self-love and enlightenment and aligning with our purpose and highest self. We interview amazing people like you, Amanda, and I've had 2 of my life coaches who have something to share that can help along that journey. Our goal is to help some people not make some of the same mistakes that we made, but at the very least to let people know that they're not alone. And so we have real conversations about real life stuff that we've maybe messed up on, that we've certainly learned from. And then also just spreading the word of love and light. It's so cool to see how everyone is so connected on this too. We have the Goddess Collective on Facebook that is open for anyone to join. Yes, we're on Spotify and YouTube right now. We'll have had 26 episodes by the end of the year. It's been such a fun journey. I feel so honored to have a platform for people to just spread love and light, to share their message. And the connections that have come from it are just mind-blowing. We interviewed this woman, Delia, who's like a psychiatrist and also like intuitive. So she blends Western and Eastern medicine together. It is so impactful to hear her story. We were talking about purpose, and I was inspired to share about purpose. I went on TikTok and made a video about it. And this girl, Sally, reached out. She was like, hey, I hope you don't think this is weird, but I'm feeling the fear and doing it anyway. I'm messaging you because I liked what you said about purpose. And I was like, first of all, I'm flattered to death that I would be your feel the fear and do it anyway. So proud of you. And you, Sally, are like the sign from the universe that says when I make myself visible and share my truth, I will get invitations. Like I shared my truth about purpose on TikTok, and now you're asking me to be on your podcast. We started this group and did the Goddess Collective meetup in San Antonio. How are you?
I am so good.
Thank you so much for your flexibility today. I really appreciate that.
Listen, I love it because that's the true feeling of freedom. I really wasn't going to be ready at 12 either, but I was like, okay, I'll make it rush. I'll do it. And I was like, well, I could postpone a little bit.
You can know with me, if you ever need to push anything back, it'll be good for me.
I think that's really something powerful to be able to talk about in the world that we've been in. Everything has just been on this, if something is 5 minutes or 15 minutes late or cancels last minute, that the whole world is going to fucking end.
Yes.
That's the problem, is like, we should have more flexibility built in because life does happen.
Yes.
There may be a day where you could have woken up this morning and been like, you know what? I'm just not in the energy to do this. And to be able to feel free to say, this isn't the day, because I've had that happen before. And it worked out because I was feeling the same way. So that gave me that feeling of permission to do that the next time I just wasn't really feeling like me, right?
Yes, absolutely. I've had to do that on my podcast as well. It was just like, y'all, today's a tough day for me. The girls were like, okay, great, no problem. It's just divine timing when we're like down to just trust that like the timing is going to be right, and we need to be in the right space for this, especially for things like this. And I think in anything in general, like nobody wants Cherry showing up like tired and like feeling rushed anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. If the energy is not a match in that moment, then it's not a match. I would much rather wait until it is right. And I think that's part of coming back into this space of freedom. And that's ultimately the goal, right? Everybody really wants freedom. People say they want money or whatever, but for me, it's
Really.
freedom and love, freedom, really, and just being able to have that flexibility and to be 15 minutes late or whatever is not going to end my world.
Hey, yes, I'm so there with you. And girl, I can't stop listening to Aaron Abke. Like you said,
Right?
my husband and I have had it on the TV like nonstop. I'm listening to his other podcast this morning. I just listened to the one about the one, and they're very much on the same thing where it's like, what if we just trusted that, like, when we felt led to do and to go because we're being, like, that was how we did it instead of planning everything and getting rushed and put in these time constraints. Yeah, it's blowing my mind, by the way. The whole thing. Like, what a freaking permission slip to love Jesus, this person that I grew up loving, and then was so disenchanted. It was just this. Why is it not clicking? It's not tracking.
It's like your inner knowing, you knew that there was something there. Like it was like a tickle, I know something's there, but like, what is it? And then it's like finally connecting it and putting it into words and making it make sense of that Christ consciousness of like he was saying God is in me, not me, like me, everybody's me. And
I
that's
and
what he
okay,
said too. He was like, he's in you too, and you do more than me. They focus on the messenger instead of the message.
yes.
And there have been many messengers that have told this same story in different variations, different metaphors, speaking to different people from different native areas. So the lingo and all the verbiage is going to be a little bit different, but it's still the same freaking message.
Yes. When you sent it to me, it's a culmination of everything that I have felt and known and talked about and tried to work through with so many people. Bless my mom's heart. Growing up Christian, and then I go to college and I take Western civilization and I learn about the beginning of religion. I was like, whoa, wait. So religion is just a man-made construct, but I believe in God, but not that God. That feels wrong the way you guys are making us do this. Why are there so many rules? If it's a personal relationship, then why do I have to do the same thing as you? We still won't even have the same relationship with him. And then doing psychedelics and being like, wait, we all are connected. We all are one. And there is a strong energy through this. I do believe in God, but it's not the Christian version of God, but it still feels like it's that God. But I don't know how to separate the two. Talking my mom through all of this stuff, and I was like, Mom, God is love, and I am love. I'm a conduit of love. My purpose is rooted in love and light, which means my purpose is rooted in God, which means my worship is me living my purpose. And if God is in me and God's experiencing life through me, like we're God experiencing itself, then me living my purpose is the highest form of love that I could do. My purpose is to bring heaven on earth. Then you send me this, and I'm like, what on earth? It's real.
Wow, that's so exciting. My heart is racing with you. I manage my breath, nervous system.
Yes, I feel that. Expansive. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's so cool to vibrate in that energy and see other people talking about it, right? And, part of it is that's part of us just wanting to be part of the group and accept it. When you have an idea and you're like, I don't really know how to put it into words. And Aaron does such an excellent job at
Okay.
communicating, going back to feeling like that oneness and talking about psychedelics. I can definitely relate to that too. And I had heard people saying, we're all one and all connected, but to actually feel it is a different thing. That's what this healing journey has been for me. I went through the learning phase. So it was bringing all the knowledge in, definitely in the masculine, bringing in
Yeah.
the doing, bringing in all the information. Then it was like, okay, now I think I'm starting to believe it. But you can't embody it until you feel it. And plant medicine was a way for that to happen for me.
Same. I see it as medicine, and like it's here to teach us something. It feels like the way that I'm seeing the world, and just like how could I best be of service and aligned with love and guide people in the right way. Every time I take mushrooms, there's something I learn.
You know what's interesting? I don't know if you've seen one of the previous episodes where I had Ryan Sprague. I call him the cannabis guy. You definitely have to go back and listen to that episode. He's really good at communicating, like Aaron, which I'm going to connect these guys. That's how I found Aaron, actually, through Ryan, the cannabis guy. Ryan is an expert on cannabis used with intention. It can be used as a psychedelic, and it's been used the longest in history, which sounds wild. Definitely check out that episode because I am part of another community with Ryan, who does the cannabis, with Chris August, who wrote a book about transforming your breath, transform your life, transform your breath, and has an app called Beats and Breath, and it has breath work and meditation in it. It's so good. They have so many different cool sounds, and there's ones focused on like your zodiac sign. There's ones for the different elements with air, water, fire. It's so cool. And anyway, so there's this group, this called Breathe with Cannabis. It's another community that I'm in. And it's got Ryan, Chris, the breathwork guy, and Aaron, the communicator, who's so good at doing these meditations and communicating messages. So they start out in this group, they do a cannabis and breathwork session. So I need to take a breath. I'm like getting really excited. I'm so excited to share this because it's just been so powerful. And since we're talking about it's all connected. So they start out and Aaron talks about something specific. And there's different ones that'll have a different focus for each. We've been listening to the recordings, and Sebastian and I went outside in the backyard in the grass. That was incredible. Went on our back deck, but they had one about creativity. There's one on focus. There's one on money. There's one on relationships. So just different themes that this whole session, I guess that's what you call it, is based upon. So for example, the one about creativity, Aaron spoke for maybe 10, 15 minutes. Time doesn't exist whenever he's talking. He's just communicating something so clear about creativity and lighting that fire within inside and, all the things. So he talks for a little while and then he leads a short meditation. Ryan talks about the use of cannabis and how to use it with intention. So when you ask for something, you're really clear about it. And even not in doing this breath work, but just using it with intention is incredible. It's been a huge game changer for me. Ryan talks about the cannabis and how to use it. And then they have a smoke break. They play this really fun, cool music, probably like 15 minutes. You have your time to smoke. And then they come back and they go through some journaling prompts. They do the journal prompts before you smoke, after Aaron finishes his talk and the meditation. And then you smoke and they have this great music. And then they start another journaling prompt question related to creativity or money. Then they do a breathwork session. Chris leads the breathwork session, and they do different series, like maybe a 4-4 breath count, or another one's 2-2, and just mixes up with the breath work. And the music is incredible, and Chris's delivery is so powerful. And then after that, they do a group where everybody gets to talk about feedback and their experience, and everybody's experience is just so profound, and you're like getting to share that energy with other people. That's the biggest thing. If you've have you done plant medicine with a group of 20 or 30 people or more?
Not intentionally. I've done like a journey. So
Yeah.
like the overnight thing, and there were I think like 10 of us.
I've had experiences where it's like 20 or 30 people, and the cannabis was even more for me
Really?
than the mushrooms. This cannabis is really powerful psychedelic when used with intention. It totally go back and listen to that episode with Ryan.
Yes.
It is incredible what they're doing with cannabis, and it's so easily available. The other community that I was in, the Awakened community, they're doing it now once a month as well. They're actually doing it today.
All right.
Yeah, it's so cool to be able to do it even online with
Huh.
30, 50, 100 people. Like the energy, because you're all in this sacred space with intention and
Yes.
all under the same frame of mind. And whenever you really get into that, like we're all connected as one, and you're with that many people, my whole body is shaking now just feeling it because I can go back into that energy. I was with the group, with Danny's group, with our inner circle in March at Lake Tahoe. Oh my God, there were like 30 of us there, 30 or 40. And we were out on the beach front of the lake. Oh,
Dreaming.
what energy, like this magical energy was just, it was like I literally, like that's where I felt every person there.
Oh,
Like they were me and I was them.
I love that.
It was magical. And that was with cannabis.
That's amazing. I'm sold, and you are a messenger for me right now because I have been asking specific questions, and what you just shared with me gave me an opportunity. So the question I've been asking recently is, where does cannabis fit in? I've smoked every day for over 15 years, and it hasn't been intentionally. And I gave up alcohol 10 months ago, and that has changed my life profoundly. Now I'm working with a life coach, and we're talking about purity, diet, and the things I put in my body and on my body. There are some spiritual leaders that are like, no, nothing that would change your state. But I have experienced connection from plant medicine. My husband and I are going to do a cannabis break for a little bit. It'll be kind of like a fast for me because I want to reset on why this has been in my life and get to the place where that is what it's for. Very cool that you're sharing such intentional stuff. I'm not kidding. I asked ChatGPT last week. I was like, is it spiritual for me to be smoking still? Like, and like, no shame,
Listen.
but I want to be my best.
So this is exactly why we're having this conversation. This is actually something very important for me and that I've just recently worked through. And this is perfect timing. Of course, this is the way things always work, right?
Indeed.
So I went through that too. And I also went through it because of habit. When you listen to Ryan in this episode, and he has a podcast too, he has a bunch of stuff. I'll send you his Instagram so you can follow him as well.
Yeah.
He talks about a good thing to do if you are just smoking it all the time was to take a break, like a 7-day break, and become aware during that time period. When do you think about it? Is it because you think that you want to smoke because it is just what you do whenever you wake up, or it's just what I do when I get off from work, or it's just what I do when I get bored, or I do it whenever I'm hungry? Or what is it like? Are you thinking about it whenever you're going for it? What's the feeling that's coming up in your body in that moment? And then whenever you connect again and do something like this with this breath work, he talks about the whole intention. So I met this beautiful woman. She's been on a previous podcast too. My dear friend Leslie, she has a farm in North Carolina where they grow hemp and they have all these really cool activities and healing things like breath work and animals. She really opened up my eyes about my use of cannabis about a year and a half ago. And I was using it more just out of casual recreational. And when we started talking about intention, and even she started talking about using the word cannabis instead of weed, because when you think about weed, that's like the unwanted thing in my flower bed. And it's
Yeah.
part of the whole story. We listen to the episodes with Ryan. He talks about the communication given, which we've been lied to so many times, all about cannabis and even the name marijuana and like how this whole energy got behind it and people feeling this guilt or shame that you're utilizing a plant. well, that sounds ridiculous. Why would you judge why is that plant different than apples?
Right. That's a question that keeps coming up for me too.
This is perfect timing. This trio with Aaron, Ryan, and Chris is fire. Ryan has so much good information about cannabis, and it's helped me so much in my healing with using it intentionally. It's probably been helping you unintentionally, but that's the beauty of her as a plant. She gives you what you ask for. And when you get into a certain habit of what your intention is and you didn't realize it, she just goes back to that on repeat if you're not giving her one. So if it is just to relax or escape, then you're just going to relax and escape. But whenever I started using it to expand instead of to escape, it really makes a difference. And even if I have a little bit every day, I'm not doing it to get high, because whenever I connect with her now in this way, she helps organize my thoughts. She slows down all the shit that's just going around in my head. And then it just makes clear. Oh my God, I have so many downloads whenever I smoke now with intention.
Wow. That's really cool and exciting because it has been used for so long, like you said. And so, like, how could that? There's so much positivity. And the negative part is when it's like the lacking of intention and it becomes a something that it's not. Like,
And most of that is a lack of education. So once you get this education and with your own intention of, I want to have a good relationship with her,
right.
and you really change your relationship with this plant.
So cool.
Sebastian and I smoked a little bit right before we started to record. Let me get into focus. Let me download. My intention today was show me the message that I need to communicate to the audience today. And the audience is you. This is the message that came through. And this was exactly the perfect timing. And this is what she gave me.
That's so amazing. I'm so grateful. Yeah, that is, I mean, that's really mind blowing to me. Like, two things within just 3 days that you have sent me or said to me that has answered something, opened something, expanded something. You're doing it, Mama. I celebrate you. So glad that we're connected.
It's so wild. In the last year, I have year and a half, 2 years, have come into contact with different people like you that I am learning and growing with. We met in some random sort of way, but have all these connections. It's so beautiful to see and feel those mirrors.
Yes.
So wild.
Right? It's divine to me. I'm like,
It
there's no
is.
way that I'm going to go to karaoke on a Thursday night, meet this guy James one time, never seen him again. We talk sometimes on Instagram. He's like, "Are you going to karaoke?" Yes, no, whatever. And he's like, "You need to be my sister." And then we would connect this way. That is so wild.
Right.
No plans to move to Oklahoma, like at any time of my life. But now I'll be here with my husband and our girls. And you're in Knoxville, where I'm from.
I'm in Atlanta, but I went to school
Right.
in Knoxville and I
That's
go
it.
up there for the games and stuff.
Yes. It's just so crazy. And then we had another kind of divine connection. Someone I met in Knoxville moved to Florida. I saw her in Knoxville. We were friends. I moved to Oklahoma. I meet my co-host, Silver Luna. We are friends on Facebook. I see that she posts something, and my friend from Knoxville is commenting on her Facebook post. How do y'all know each other? And they're like, "Oh, we met at Burning Man last year." I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" So they're friends. And now we have her on the podcast. Two amazing women that I've met at totally different times in my life. And now we are all here together on this podcast. Silver Luna lives in Florida now and has seen Gabby. The other crazy connection in this whole thing is Gabby started a love burn on the East Coast. So there's baby burns from Burning Man. Are you familiar?
No.
So Burning Man, you know what Burning Man is, the
Yeah.
festival. So they have baby burns, like a mini festival. Yes. And so Gabby started the biggest one on the East Coast. She was one of the founders of it. It's called To the Moon. Lovebird. And we had another girl on our podcast who had just gotten back. She's like, I just got back from a festival. It's called To the Moon. It's like my favorite festival ever. And we're like, wait. We just had Gabby who started that on the pod. It's so amazing.
And that's what's so exciting is whenever people would say, in alignment, when you get in alignment, you just know it, you just feel it. And you're like, what does that even mean? Well,
Right.
it means this types of shit continues to happen, these synchronicities or joy moments or
Glimmers.
yeah, and these
And
connections. And you're like, glimmers, that's it too. And you're like, how did this even, yeah, even Sebastian and I connecting. Well, we connected because he worked at the same place of a guy that I was dating at the time. I knew who he was, but we never really talked to each other. And then we split up around the time that he asked me to be in his music video. So then I'm in this music video by random chance.
oh my God.
And then we end up
Video.
like
I'm looking at the
going
video.
on a date like a month and a half later. And it was like, wow, this is just wild how one thing leads to the next. And you start seeing how the pieces of the puzzle connect and how different people come into your lives. The interconnectivity of it is just beautiful.
Yes. The ripple effect that
Yeah.
so many people are going to be boosted, consciousness lifted just because we connected on something
Yeah.
so amazing, putting so much
Yeah.
energy out. It's so good. It makes
It,
life feel so magical and sparkly. You just never know who's coming into my field. Like,
right. It just makes me tingly.
I know.
I'm gonna shake it off. Oh, my new favorite on that Beats and Breath app. I did this morning and yesterday morning, and it's maybe 7-10 minutes of breath work. It's a moving breath work, like a shake it out breath work. It's a 4 count in and 4 count out, and just move your body with the music. And the music is so good, and he's keeping the breath count. The next part is that quick inhale two and exhale two. We did it outside, bare feet in the grass. I mean, it was like so incredible.
Yes.
It's such a good way to start the morning and wake yourself up. The sun shining through the trees felt magical.
Yeah. Talk about oneness and connectedness. Like, getting up, grounding, spending time in creation and dancing.
With this amazing soul right beside me, and the dogs outside, the cats are outside running around. It's incredible.
We just had our goddess meetup in San Antonio a couple of weeks ago, and it was such a dream come true for me. I've always wanted to host a women's event. I know this is just the very beginning, but to be in a space where the theme was summer soiree, everyone wear the dress that you've been waiting for an excuse to wear. So like everyone's so cute and dressed up, and we had these little bags with cardboard and little like pictures that you can make vision boards. And so we're all sitting around this table. There's live jazz music playing. We're all chatting, and then all of a sudden everyone got really quiet, and you look around and everyone's working on their vision boards. I just had this moment of like everyone is like dreaming and thinking about their future right now. This is incredible. It was such an amazing experience for me. We're going to be traveling and doing that. We start small and we do it in perfect action until we can go bigger. Knoxville and that area is going to be one of the next three that we're going to do. When that happens, I really hope that you can come.
Yeah, this is so connected. Okay, so here's my other thing. I am in process of planning an event where I'm going to be going through the language games and the 4-step process that I've learned from Mark England in this Unlifted coaching program. That's where I learned about rewriting my story and really made that big transformation in embodying that oneness and embodying this version of myself. I would love to share any of that with the people as well. I am planning an event, but I would love to do that at yours. I'm going to put together a group of other people doing similar stuff and create a virtual event. You've got an audience. I've got an audience. My friend Jocelyn has a different audience, and Scarlett has an audience related to money. We all can get our communities collaborating together We're all in this oneness of energy and healing, and everybody's got different specialties that they bring to the table. Then we can all share it with, because we're all trying to do the same thing, right? So let's just hold our hands together and be more powerful together to reach more people.
Yes,
It's like
collaboration.
the collaboration just makes the impact that much more expansive.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I'm so down. And that is connected to like my big life dream of hosting like retreats in different cities and bringing like the wellness practitioners to a retreat center and an Airbnb, bringing in people from the community who are interested so they can experience new wellness modalities available to them, connect with like minded people. The wellness practitioners get more clients. We also have a luxurious weekend experiencing different kinds of massage, yoga, or writing our story, just all of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's my same dream. So see, I mean, it's so funny because I just got off the phone with my friend Jocelyn earlier, and I was telling her it'd be nice to have a place that's in the mountains, and then maybe a place that's at the lake, and somebody has a place near the beach, and some different places where you have the capacity to bring in different people for these special events. But when it's not a special event, you're renting out the other spaces for other people and doing activities for the local community.
I love that.
It is wild, all the connections in the community that I've been in this whole network. There'll be some sort of connection, I guarantee it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There'll be another synchronicity somewhere.
And it's so nice to have these drinks too and to know timing's perfect on it. Sure, I would love to do that right this second. Am I at a place in my life where I'm ready for that? Well, if it comes to me, yes, I'm ready. But I just trust that it's the right time. I'm not too late. As long as I'm staying connected and open and being, then
Well,
it's going to happen.
we connect with people, I'm telling you, at the perfect timing, because this is happening. I'm so excited about it because I know that there's a lot of people out there on this journey, and to be able to do it together is so powerful. Like I was saying, to do a canvas journey in a collective like that of 30, 40, 50 people, it's,
Next level.
yeah. And the thing Ryan talks about, when you go back to the cannabis and the breath work together, it actually activates the natural DMT that is in your body. That's why it has a psychedelic experience. He goes into the detail because I'm definitely not an expert, but I'm going to learn about it.
Whoa, I'm so excited about that.
It's
Like,
so
hello,
amazing.
activate the GMT just a couple of times. And it actually is what helped me not be afraid of death. And so I was like, okay, there is something else out there. And I still feel like it's God. And I did experience God on DMT, but everyone is saying that God is this thing. I'm in this awakening moment. You can tell that I'm just like, wait, oh my gosh, it's not as bad as I thought. Excuse me, sorry.
I feel like you're like another me. You're like me living on another timeline, another life, which is exactly what that is. That's exactly what that life is that in that experience of the DMT was the feeling of I've died. Like I separated into a bajillion little particles of energy. Like I could see, it's not even seeing, it's feeling, it's being, it's not even seeing. It's just all of the things of being nothing and then everything all at the same time.
Yes. I don't know how else to describe that either. But you're absolutely right. It's such an expansive way of thinking about life. I can get up in my head and go forever. All my thoughts on this and then this one and this one. My husband's like, come back to me. Hello. Okay, present. We're present.
Sebastian helps keep me grounded so much. That has been such a massive support in our relationship. And I know that that's been a big thing with you and your relationship too. It's just incredible to have a partner that is patient, allowing, and wants to learn and grow together.
I love seeing your posts about you and your husband, by the way. I am such a lover of love, and like, I think there's no such thing as too much PDA for me. I'm like, look at them, they're so in love. That's gross, but do it, like whatever. And people are so like, get that out of my face. I'm like, no, no, we need more of this. And also, if you have people around you that are in love like this, that's great, because anytime we have the energy going on around us, that means it's coming to us too, if we're open to it, aligned. But you're so right. Like, having the support, my husband, to just let me like work through things, chew through things. He's such a good listener and doesn't approach me with devil's advocate. He will ask me questions to challenge me or to get curious or dive deeper. That has given me so much space to work through all of these things going on in my heart and my head. And for us to be able to grow together, and for him to be open to yeah, okay, I can try meditating, or I'll try journaling or learning about human design. And we both grew up in church. That's actually how we met. He was the drummer in the middle school band. I was in a small group. All of my friends loved him. I was like, whatever. We never dated, but I knew him growing up. And I went to college. Then I came back from college for a break. We ended up making out on a dance floor, very random. I saw him out and I went home and told my mom, hey, I saw Gabriel from church. Remember him? I didn't tell her what we were up to, but I thought she would like that. She's like, oh, yeah, I remember him, whatever. We didn't talk for 7 years after that. And like nothing. I was at school and I went to Florida and with my boyfriend of 5 years, thinking I was going to marry him. He got married, had 2 kids in the Army. He got injured in the Army, so he got bedboarded out and moved back to Knoxville, and we reconnected. And I knew that I was leaving my boyfriend at the end of the summer, but when Gabriel popped back into my life, I was in such a dark place in my life, like major addictions, knowing that this relationship is not for me, but I wanted to stay with him because I really wanted him to pay off my student loans because he came from money. Even though we like spent all of our money on like cocaine because we lived in South Florida, and it was such a dark time in my life. But I also had this knowing that there's something else out here for you in life. I went on a trip to Arizona and spent some time in Sedona, and that was when I had this big awakening of, oh, there is much more life for me to experience than what I'm doing in South Florida with my boyfriend, just working, drinking, and doing drugs. I was thinking up until that point, this is the life. This is what everyone wants to do. It was a beautiful place to live, and we had stuff. Gabriel comes back into our life, and we start talking, and I can tell I'm like starting to get feelings. And so I told my boyfriend, hey, I'm not happy in our relationship. I need us to talk. And he was like, okay, I'm going to go to bed. We can talk about it later. I was like, that was my answer. Gabriel had said to me, every time I saw your picture, I just get this feeling in my stomach, like this pit or something. I missed something. I think that's all I need. This guy that I've known my whole life, that I have this feeling too. I'm going to pick up, you know what? I'm picking up my shit and I'm leaving. I left on a Tuesday. I packed up my car. I drove 13 hours from Palm Beach, Florida to Knoxville, Tennessee. Met him, dropped my stuff off at my parents' house, and met him at a bar. I was so freaking nervous, and it just felt like, oh, wait, this is something different, and this is real, and I think I'm going to marry him kind of from the jump. We look back, and it's like, I felt like I knew that I was going to marry him from the second I got in the car, and he was like, I know, and he was like, yeah, like I felt that, but I was like, not, I didn't know where you were at. And so when you were kind of like, okay, we're doing this, he was like, yeah, no, we're doing this. He had already gotten a ring because his ex-wife made him feel bad about the ring that he had gotten when they had a shotgun wedding because she had gotten pregnant. He's like, I'm gonna go ahead and get this ring. And if she doesn't like it, she can just we'll get it reset. Like whoever the girl that I'm supposed to marry is. He tells me the story, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to see the ring, but I think I'm going to marry him. So maybe I don't want to see the ring. And then he was like, I'm just going to show it to you. Just close your eyes and open my eyes. And it's like he had gone to my Pinterest board and picked out the ring that I had like 300 pictures of. And I was like, how did you know it was this one? And I need to get it cleaned, but it's like it's not a normal ring. I don't know if you can see that.
It's kind of, oh yeah, that's a better angle there. It's pretty.
Yeah, very, very. And so I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to marry this guy. My parents didn't like my boyfriend. We go to the beach every year. They would usually bring my boyfriend. G was like, okay, I'm getting on that beach trip. I was like, I don't think it's your year. My parents are weirded out that you and I are even talking right now because I just left this long relationship, but you're here all the time. I can tell that they are really loving you, but it's just, I don't think it's your year. And we're at dinner one night. My mom is like, all right, well, Gabriela, are you coming to the beach with us or not? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is, wow, my family too. And this is something that was so hard for me with my ex-boyfriend because my family didn't like him. And so I was like, man, am I about to choose this life where I'm going to have this struggle between my family and my husband? And I don't want that. That's how it feels. So then to have their blessing, I was only in Knoxville for 3.5 months, and he asked my dad if he could marry me. My dad said yes. And so we got engaged after like 4 months and like 20 years of knowing each other. But like that to me is just so divine. And so I hold on to that. I mean, I love and everything, but I hold on to that knowing of like, I was moved there. I was literally moved. My soul knew. I followed that. And no matter what happens, you can't tell me that 7 years not talking and him coming back into my life so strong and us both feeling this thing, and we had never dated before, for that to be so real. It doesn't matter what happens, we're gonna make it. And so on top of that, he's just been this rock in my life, just an incredible soundboard. He lets me fly up in the clouds and holds it down, and then he's like, all right, babe, come on now, you need a rest, or hey, let's get you out of the house. Like, he's just been there for me in such a way that I didn't expect in my spiritual journey and in my life journey. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about my husband. Like, the men that hold the ladder while we dismantle the patriarchy, I just love them so much. Like, he's like, I got you, babe, whatever you need. And so it goes both ways too, because I love supporting him, and I'm a mover and a shaker and I do things. And he is as well in his own way. His human design is a reflector. And so none of the world is set up for him. And none of the world's really set up for a lot of us, I think, especially light workers and those connected and awake. And so he's done everything from work at Chuck E. Cheese to be a combat medic in the Army to a ski instructor, culinary school, gym owner, just everything, which is totally his design. But he's like, I don't have anything to show for it. And it's my greatest pleasure to remind him as many times as I need to that, like, you're him. You are him. There's nothing that you need to do to be anything else. Like, you're him. You're here. You did it. You've done it. Remove the pressure and let's just have fun. And let's see where life takes us. I know that you are of service to the world by way of your presence. And so to be that for each other, that reminder of you're her, you're him, like nothing else. You don't need to do anything else or prove anything. To be worthy of every good thing and love and to live your purpose out. And that's really what we do for each other. We lift each other up, grow, and remind each other that it's all good.
It's so beautiful, and it's just so wild because you just told my story, but in a different version. It's incredible, and it feels amazing to hear your story, to see and feel your energy and you guys together on this journey. I believe it really inspires other people that maybe aren't in that space with a person yet, and it's a reminder to maybe whenever you think that you're in your worst moment, right? And you're in your depths, right? Where you were in that relationship and that lifestyle, thinking, is this the ending? And then it was the beginning. And what a fast beginning. That's the thing. Whenever you're in alignment and in that energy space with that vibration of somebody that can hold that space for you, time doesn't exist. So, it feels weird, right? Telling a story to people that doesn't sound normal, to have that feeling of, I'm going to marry this man immediately, especially after everything and where you were in that moment. For him already having this ring and it being exactly what you wanted. And then the 4 months is so fast. And all of these pieces, my story is pretty wild too. And I feel like this makes sense for us just to go ahead and dive into this. I haven't told this on the podcast either. If you've got time, let's keep doing it.
I want to hear it.
So in Knoxville, got married to my college sweetheart from Knoxville, from Farragut. And we got married like right after school because that was just what people did. I was following the you do all the things and check all the boxes. And then we moved to Atlanta a year after because he wanted to go to law school. I worked full time. Law school is crazy. And I was doing all the work. It just wasn't the right match. So that ended pretty quickly. Friendly, parted ways. And then I got remarried. So we were both chameleons, right? On paper, we were doing all the things, but we were everybody, but we were nobody. We were going on all the trips, hosting all the parties. We were that friend group that planned the trips, and like we were leading a couple of small group in our church, like we were doing all the things. We were checking all the boxes, but a lot of superficial boxes. And part of that was, I didn't realize that that's what we were doing. We're in a deeper type connected relationship. He wanted to have a baby, and I didn't really want to have a baby. But then I convinced myself that I want to have a baby. So we went through all the things trying to have a baby, and then went through IVF and had a miscarriage through all that IVF process. On a already just checking the boxes relationship, and neither one of us really knowing who we were. We were everybody and nobody, right? So how could we be anybody for each other? So, and when you add all that stuff into it, I mean, we were crashing and burning fast. I was not myself. I was still very codependent, didn't realize how much that was part of my life growing up in that type of environment. So I was repeating those same things, the losing the baby, all those hormones. I didn't even know who I was. I was in the most stressful time of my career. I was in the peak of my career, making more money than I'd ever made before, really just at the top of my game, but falling apart, right? Drinking a lot, all the things. And then he cheated on me. Our relationship was falling apart. I'd had all these surgeries after I found out I had endometriosis. It was just this total chaos. So he cheated on me with a girl that worked at a restaurant that was in our neighborhood. So when we split, he was already with her, wanted to stay with her. We divorced. And then my girlfriend and I decided we were just going to go to that restaurant and the bars where he was going with this girl, so they wouldn't be able to go there anymore.
I love it.
So we go in there, and shortly thereafter, I end up dating a guy who works at that restaurant where the mistress of my husband works. I start dating him, and I've been in a relationship with him for 4 years. Same story as you. Alcohol, cocaine, ridiculous, like just doing all the things, totally out of control. Just the same as you're telling your story. How did I all of a sudden get to this point? And then that relation ended pretty abruptly from him cheating. So I got like cheated on again and again. And it was all the drugs and everything, all the things that I wasn't looking after myself. I knew I wasn't happy. I knew that wasn't who I wanted to be. but I wasn't living for me in that moment. So that ended. And, you know, it was like a couple months later, I end up going on a first date with Sebastian. Oh, let me back up. So this is the weird connection here. That relationship ends. And right about the time that relationship is about to end, I'm at that restaurant all the time because that guy is there and he's the bartender. So I'm there drinking. Sebastian actually works there too. I knew who he was, but I hadn't talked to him
Yeah.
because I was in a relationship with the other guy.
Yeah.
But we knew who each other were, and that was pretty much it. So this is how all of these weird connections, right?
Yeah.
So I happen to be in the restaurant because I'm always there, and Sebastian wants somebody to be in one of his videos. He's a musician. He sings and plays guitar. G is a drummer. We could use a drummer. If you want to come at the end of September, Sebastian is going to be performing in our front yard on September the 27th. We should totally plan this. Do you want to do this?
I do want to, but Silver Luna's coming out to Tulsa. We're gonna film some stuff. I know, but soon.
We're going to plan this for another time.
Yeah.
So where am I in the story?
You.
So he needs somebody to be in the video. So I am the woman in this video. The funny thing is the song is Simply Cocinero. So simple cook. And it's about not me, but about just this fictional story of a woman not wanting to give him a chance because he's just a cook. In the video, I have to act like I'm like this bitch, you know, leave me alone. You're not good enough for me, which is really difficult to do, especially when this beautiful man is singing to me in front of my face and I've got to not smile at him. It was so hard. It's so funny. I'll send you the YouTube. It's so fun. So I'm in a music video, of one of his earlier songs. The video isn't complete for maybe another couple months. And we get together for that. This is recent after I had broken up with the other guy because the whole thing crashed and burned as it needed to happen, which, I learned so much during that. That relationship ended. And I went on my first date with Sebastian on January 4th, 2023. And our second date, 2 days later, we were looking at the moon under the stars and the hammock in my backyard, and I saw myself getting married to him, and I thought, what the fuck? Why would I have that thought? I've already been married twice. This is the second date. Like, we barely even speak the same language. He was learning English, but it really pushed me to be more clear in my communication because I had been in these relationships of over explaining things and trying to over validate. And that's that lack of trust and self-doubt. When you don't speak the same native language, you can't add all that extra shit. You need to be clear and concise and to the point. So it really helped me in the beginning of our relationship.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he spoke English, but he was learning it. And I knew some Spanish, but not a lot. It was a lot of fun. So January the 3rd or the 4th, and then the 6th, that second date, I saw myself getting married to him. And within 4 months, we were engaged and we got married on 5/5.
Oh.
On the full moon, 5/5/23.
Oh,
2023. So we got married in 4 months. And we just celebrated our 2-year, 5-month wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
So we had this wild story of random connectedness and how fast, like you were saying, there was just something different. And to connect that too, of where I was in that previous relationship and the condition that my heart and my overall well-being and my everything was when I got with Sebastian was not great. I mean, I had some things going and figured out, but a lot of things were really messy. And he just really held that space for me and could give me patience and his strength and confidence in himself to be able to hold space or challenge me in a way that's out of curiosity and love and not out of competition and discrediting. And that's the way I felt in previous relationships. It was like degrading, like, well, that's not right, or that's not going to work, or you're wrong. It always felt like an attack. So it's very different. So when you said that, I was like, oh my God, this is me and Sebastian. This is so beautiful to see, because sometimes I feel like it's so magical that it's not real.
Right? Right? Like pinch myself. And then I'm just like, oh, baby girl, you did so well. Good decision. Yeah.
And, for he and I to hold space for each other, experiencing the plant medicines and doing the breath work and the jumping around outside and the yoga and the meditations and the healing and doing all those things going full in together has really just helped us grow so much individually and collectively. Like people say, you go through this dark night, and that's where I was at the end of that last relationship and into this with him. The band-aid was ripped off, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to be as me as I can be, and if he runs away, he runs away, because this is me. I had 2 marriages and then this other long-term relationship, and I was just like, fuck it, I am all in on me now. What works is going to work, and if it doesn't, it will go away. And he stayed and I stayed, and it was like this different kind of energy from the very beginning. It was so wild. We even talked about your alcohol journey and all of that. We've really stepped away. We were gradually, like, once we started shifting our community, which we really had to do because we were in it, and it was like all we do with these people is just drink and complain, and I don't feel good anymore. And just because it's whatever day it is today doesn't mean that I need to sit down and have a drink.
Right. Totally. Man, there's so many more connection things. The universe begins to shift in our favor when we choose ourselves. We make that choice. And so, like, when I chose myself, that is the love of my life. The person that is going to grow with me. What I'm hearing from you too is we have grown together so much. Like when we first got together, I was, yeah, big party girl. He didn't even drink as much. I brought him into my lifestyle.
Same.
And then we partied hard for the first 4 years of our relationship. So very hard. By partying that hard, we got in so many huge fights that could have been avoided and made so many gnarly decisions that hurt our relationship. And thank God that we're able to lean in on those when that happens. We're like, lean in, head down. We are going to get through this together. This is so painful right now, but I know that you and I are meant to be forever because we're still choosing to grow, still choosing each other, even in the midst of the really hard, awful moments when I've said something terrible or he hurt me, like my feelings so bad on something. And so now we've grown so much and he's been such a great sense of support. But then last November, I had this download and I finally was able to connect going alcohol free to my purpose. And once something's attached to my purpose, boom. If it's aligned, yes. If it's not aligned, no, there's no gray area for me. I got that download after doing my life coaching work. I told myself, okay, when I do my life coaching work curriculum with my coach, Celia, so I want to be clear, I'm not going to drink while I'm meditating, obviously, but I just finished my little section for the day. So I was like, okay, well, I can pour my glass of wine. And I'm like thinking through what I was just learning and like integrating. And it was going through the gene keys and talking about how our shadow, working through our shadow is where the greatest source of power can really lie. And that's like our huge lessons to be learned, but how we can really be of service to others once we learn those lessons. And mine was resistance and I think addiction. And I was like, what am I resisting? Where's my biggest source of resistance in my life right now? And then I heard, you can't go a day without a glass of wine. I was like, come on. But I got it. It's like, I'm giving up alcohol. I figured it out. I have to give it up. There's no place in my life anymore. It's my biggest place of resistance. And he was just like, okay, let's do it. It's like, wait, you're doing this with me? He was like, absolutely. I know this is a big deal for you. And you're not going to walk this journey alone. And I'm like, you're so annoying for that because you're right. He doesn't have the same personality. I do know that I have an addictive personality. I was addicted to alcohol. And now looking back, I'm like, whoa, that was way more of an addiction than I even realized. Jump, he held me and he's been such a rock. 2 weeks ago, he was like, you know, babe, it's been so fun getting to know you. sober because like alcohol free because you never were. I mean, I wasn't like wasted all the time or anything like that, but even like a glass of wine, there are lasting effects days later, just the way that it affects our energy and our aura. Like maybe I'm recovering from a hangover. To get to know you at this level has been so fun. And I just love you. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's like this whole new life that we have together. And I'm just so grateful. And I'm just so grateful.
That's so beautiful.
Sweet. Yeah.
So it's almost like a whole new relationship. It's a whole new chapter.
Yes. And it feels like we feel like that power couple that like we knew that like we could be. Now we're just like, what are we gonna do with this? We have this life now. And it's not being stolen because we don't remember hours for days. Alcohol was such a big part of that. And it was just a distraction from every good thing, truly.
Yeah, I can completely agree. And it's like now the ability to enjoy everything else is so much more expansive, even if it's a delicious, healthy snack. Everything tastes better. Music is different and more fun. You're just able to experience it and remember it and feel it in a different way because that alcohol is a numbing. It's clear and obvious now what a tool and tactic it is to be pushed upon people for everything, celebrating the birth of a baby, or toasting alcohol or graduating high school. I mean, that's ridiculous for anything and everything. It's up, it's down, it's everything in between. So why is that so normalized? You go to a concert, you go to a football game, anything that's part of it. So it's like, how did it become such a thing? It's a toxic chemical going into our bodies that is a fog, and it's distorting. There's just so many things, in the awakening, and the fluoride in the water and the alcohol, everything. So it makes sense, but it sucks. In the same regard, it was that thing that pushed you over the edge to completely transform your life, remember who you really are, and create this whole new life for yourself and with your partner that is even better than you dreamed. All these cool synchronicities keep happening, keep connecting and helping and sharing this message with other people that, there's people out there thinking, oh, maybe I should stop. I hate the word should. Should is just could with shit on it or shame on it. So listen, just leave that word alone and you could stop drinking, or you could, whatever it is. But if you're feeling that, then that's a sign, just do it.
Yes. And I want to offer myself as a resource to anyone that's, interested, that has questions about going alcohol free, sober curious, is trying it and struggling. I did this without AA, and looking back now and seeing how pervasive alcohol was in my life, maybe, if I didn't have this like knowing, I would have told me to go to AA. But because I was able to connect it to purpose and something greater than myself and hold on to that. It wasn't always easy. The first month was like, oh, I'm fine. And then the next 3 months, I was like, everything sucks. Everything's boring. Am I ever going to have fun again? Look at all those people having fun. And it was my brain rewiring itself because our ability to have fun and experience joy, we have like natural state. And then we add something in and it's like, oh, cool. But we keep doing that and we have to keep adding more things in to get to like this state. And then eventually it's like, if I don't have the alcohol, I'm not going to have any fun. And that fun isn't even at where it was. If there's like what's that? Return something, limiting return benefit. I don't know. Anyways, it affects your ability to experience joy like naturally. And so we have to rewire our brains and our brain chemistry after doing something for so long. It took me a little bit to do that. So having that support from him, it's like, babe, you want this? Like, this is good for you. What do you need? Let's go try something fun. It was fun for 15 minutes. That's great. No problem. Just being so gentle and shame free on it. But it wasn't super easy at first 100% worth it. Now I can be in this alcohol-free club. We can't be in the club if you drink alcohol, but you can be an ally friend. To me, that was like, oh wow, there's actually a lot less of us out here than I thought. And this is a different, these are different people we're talking to, and we're experiencing life in a different way. We're having different conversations. And I want that for all of us.
We went to Denver for 4 days with this other group in April. And it was incredible that we went and we're sharing a Airbnb, and we went to a concert, and we went to hot springs, and we did all these things, and nobody had anything to drink the entire weekend.
That's so cool.
Like, nobody asked about it. Nobody,
Just
there
like
was
pure fun.
nobody did. It was like really fun to be in that energy that it wasn't even there or even thought about, or, well, where are we going to get a drink next? And especially being in a group of people, it was really nice.
So nice. And it's so rare and special because like
Yeah.
that whole time you all were present with each other and got to like
Yeah.
truly experience the connection and the joy and the fun, and no one's getting shitty and saying something like there's so many things that we let slide from ourselves, and other people are like, oh, they were just drunk, and it's like that is unacceptable behavior. And
Right.
no shame anywhere at any time.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at on this. And also, if you drink, listeners, no shame. Everyone's on their own journey. I'm not here judging anyone for me, and also because I look back now and I'm like, oh, I thought I was something else that I was not. I wasn't not that funny or fun or like whatever. I can see clearly now. What a huge difference.
Everybody's journey is different. For me, I was uncomfortable being myself. I was using alcohol to mask and hide who I was. I was becoming whoever they wanted me to be, or I
Right.
thought that they wanted me to be, until I forgot. And then the next day it would be like, what happened again? And I got tired of forgetting what happened, or those fights come up, and you're like, what you said or you did, and then if you don't really remember, I may have said or did, but I don't really remember, then that's where I was like, that's so different for me with the alcohol. It's like it just completely fuzzy with the brain. And I might smoke cannabis and forget it for a few minutes because I saw like a million other exciting things in the next 10 minutes, but it's there. I
Right.
won't forget it. It's there. I
Yes.
know it for sure.
Because we can feel it. That's the thing also, like with cannabis, we can feel in to those
Yeah.
things. Alcohol, it's like we think that we're like, oh, this is like what life's all about, this is so fun, but it's like
Mhm.
what it's doing to your brain chemistry and like to your body, to your spirit, also like poking holes in your aura, letting negative energy come in. It changes your perception.
What's weird is I'm remembering now that like 6 to 12 months, whenever I was shifting out of the relationship of the people that I was with before that were drinking, and whenever I started cutting back on my drinking and started smoking more or having gummies, and again, not with intention, but as a, well, I don't really want to drink that much tonight, but I'm going to be out with these people and I don't want to feel like I did yesterday. So I'm just going to start smoking more or having a gummy. I felt more judged whenever I go out. And if my eyes were bloodshot and I don't want to drink, or I only want one drink or less, it was like, oh, well, Amanda's high again, of course. And it was like, you're fucking wasted, So it was that judgment. And it was like, I don't want to be in that energy that I'm being judged and then I'm judging them back. So I was like, okay, well, if I'm just getting into that state, even in the misuse of the cannabis, to numb myself, to be in the energy with people doing something that I don't want to partake in anymore, they can do it. That's fine. But if I don't want to be in that space and I don't feel comfortable being me, whether it's me as just me or even me smoking,
Yeah,
I'm just not going to be in that space anymore. And that's my choice. And that's okay. And that's their choice. And that's okay too.
100%. Misery loves company. How many times have I been out at a bar and I don't want any more shots, but everyone is wasted and they're like, come on, you gotta do it. There's so much peer pressure and they just steamroll your boundaries. Everyone's thinking that so they can have an even better time, but truly we're poisoned up and it is misery. Like it doesn't feel like it right now, it will tomorrow, but like wanting that like connection or to feel like you're not alone, but there isn't a redeeming quality to it or benefit.
It's actually a masking of the feeling.
Yes.
So then your mind created the feeling that look at those people having fun.
Yes.
So that was all the mind. Your body wasn't feeling fun. Your body wasn't feeling anything.
Yeah. You're so right about that. That is so interesting. I realized it was more than just the wine for me, why I would have a glass of wine after work. Now I've shifted to functional beverages with adaptogens and nootropics and botanicals. And I'm still pretty like, I really want to have one. Like if I'm not, it's nowhere near like the level of annoyance that if I didn't have wine at the end of the day. But I'm okay with being like, these are so supportive. Like these, I wonder if I have like these breeze ones. This one has cannabis and mushroom microdosed in it. Some of mine just have, I don't know where there's another box somewhere, but I love like the Hyos or like Recess, the Paloma. But those have helped me feel like I love at bars when they have mocktails or like the alternatives. And it's so funny to go to the bar, know that I can have that and have a good time. And then it's like 10, 11, that's the latest. And I'm like, I'm ready to go home. And I have no problem.
Right?
Bye, I'm going to feel great tomorrow. And how many times did we stay in situations or hang out with people that we would never spend time with, or we would never have stayed out that late? I would have never gone to that sketchy bar on the other side of town that somebody got shot outside of if it was the last one open and we have to keep the buzz going. And that was so unsafe for me. But I would do that all the time when I was drinking. We let so much slide.
Yeah.
We're not present and we're not in like a present.
Yeah. Well, it's good to feel like we're on the other side and we're still learning more every day and keep learning from each other. As you're talking about stopping drinking and how everything shifted, and now it's like I actually have all this free time and all this capacity and energy because it was taking up so much time. We both started a podcast in January. You started in January too, right? Oh my gosh.
That's so cool. Yes, you're right. I did have this knowing that every good thing, all of my dreams are on the other side of this thing for me. So you're right. The podcast started in January. I gave up alcohol in November. November 11/22 is my date every year, which I love. Such a good number. So grateful for you and how you embody love. It comes through the screen, through Instagram, through your messages. I'm so grateful for you and how you're blessing the world with your presence. And thank you for inviting me on the pod. This has been fun.
Thank you so much, Cherry. I really appreciate it. Wow, what an incredible episode. I just love it whenever we have these flowing conversations like I got to have with Cherry today. And as always, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Back to the Heart. If this episode with Cherry inspired you, please subscribe, rate, and share it with a friend who needs to hear the message. Until next time, keep coming back to the heart.